Islam. Peace. I want to thank all the Moors for tuning in. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We live now. Once again, just want to tell everybody this video is going to be important. Make sure that you share this with everyone. Make sure that you like, comment, and share this. First and foremost, we want to rise, give honors, praise to the Most High, Father, the Universal Law. We always give honors to our illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and for teaching us to love instead of hate. We always give honors to the forerunner to the prophet, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We also give honors to the first appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and that is Brother E. Millie Ill. In addition to that, we also give honors to the current Supreme Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and that's Brother D. Bailey Ill. We give honors to the Supreme Grand Council. We give honors to the Grand Body at all tried and true members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. We also give honors to all of the faithful Moors out there, regardless of your affiliation or, where you stand. If you are positive, prosperous, working towards the upliftment of our people, we're with you. We give honors to you. And of course, always, we give honors to everybody for also sharing this video, for helping to spread this information, this knowledge and wisdom that we're going to share. Okay. I think it's very important, really, that people tune into this and share this video. You see the screenshot on here. If you don't, let me pull it up for you. You see how it says scams, what to watch out for. That's basically what we're going to get into. It's really important, Moors, that you know what's going on out here, because it's really not all good. It really isn't. Okay, you got a lot of stuff going on that has no business. Okay, that's not even a part of the movement, and that has no business, being passed off as a part of the movement or having Moorish American anything even tied to it. But it's gotten mixed in, and it could be very confusing, and that's why we're gonna discuss this and cover what's real and what's not. And just, so that everybody out there has a heads up, so nobody can come back later and say, I didn't know. Okay? That you know. All right? And so, like I said, that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go into it in depth and explain some things that I'm sure, most of you do not know about. Okay? And so, like I said, it's just really important that people know what's going on out here. All right? Because it's serious. It's really serious. And just so you know that this isn't all talk, everything that I'm saying, you can look in the description for this video and check these sources out, just so that you know that I'm not just trying to bash on people who think they figured something out, who think that they got something that's working. I'm not trying to just shut people down for no reason or something crazy like that. It's not like that at all. But like I said, just make sure that you share this video, okay? And do the research yourself. Don't just watch this. Also go and look at the resources in here, and then even take it even further than that, okay, on your own. All right. But yeah, like I said, this is important. And one of the reasons that we're going to go ahead and go into the screen share so I can show you something. One of the main reasons why we're doing this is because, I'm coming across all types of stuff. We have a group, for those that don't know, on Facebook. For the most part, it's in the Moors in America group. If you're not on Facebook with us already, get on there. Just look up Moors in America. Okay, but yeah, recently somebody had shared a post. It was a female, and on here we're gonna be blocking people's names out. It's personal. I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. We're just dealing with the information. All right. But if you can read this, all right, this lady, blah, 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 Bay, was talking about she's feeling betrayed. And she put this out saying imposter alert, right? Basically, there's a dude who's selling the secured party creditor information. All right. And he's calling himself Noble this, giving himself all types of titles implying leadership. And he's selling this information, and he got over on him, right? And so I skewed dude's name out because, I'm I'm pretty sure she's not making this up, but like I said, we not making it about the person, because pretty much anybody selling this stuff is bogus, but we'll get into that later. All right. But yeah, so like, if you can't see this, it says, I think it's paramount to forewarn our brothers and sisters of this imposter targeting the communities. She joined these Moorish groups just to spread the message, right? That's how I saw it. She's in the Moors in America group. This imposter goes by the name of blank Noble Bey, or Noble whatever, or the administrator of Washita Empire, or the Prince of Washita Empire. He's the former, still is the governor, province of Georgia through the USAR government. So he's like associating himself with all these different Moorish groups and saying he's a leader. You might think I deserve to be ripped off for being so gullible and lose my fiat to this fraudster, but he's charismatic, could easily sell blank CDs, snake oil if he wanted to. Always shook her head at people that fell for scams, thinking she wouldn't be one of them. And that's one of the things that happens when people get into this. You're thinking that other people who are calling themselves Bay or L, or associating themselves in some way with this Moorish information, are legit. Like, I've legit seen somebody who's selling this secured party creditor bogus redemption manual stuff, and like just a year ago he wasn't saying none of this Moorish stuff, but now he's like throwing Prophet Noble Drew Ali's name out there and trying to associate himself with that, and it's so lame to watch. But for people who don't know any better, you'll just see him spitting something sounding spiritual or sounding like he's on it, and then boom, I got this for the 500, I got this for the 400, right? And it's this bogus redemption manual paperwork. But like I said, we'll get into that later so that you can understand where we're coming from. The lady talking about the dude, persuasive, charming, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Knowing each other since 2018, developed friendship, gained trust. Several Moors knew of him, but were silent, hoping I would catch on to his lies. I didn't. So we're not going to be silent here, even though I'm not putting people on blast by name, just giving you the algorithm, like she says, of what to look out for. This is the algorithm. Explains the process, says the price, verified payment, moves forward on whatever services you pay for, doesn't provide any proof or evidence that he's doing anything, or of past clients. And then she's talking about, he tries to sell you an old Albion process and sell it off as his own, charges up to $1,500 for a secured party creditor. Man, Islam to the indigenous indigo, to the person in there that said put the name out there. You know what? I'm not putting the name out there because anybody selling this is bogus. But just don't go anywhere. Watch the video and I'm going to show you why. I'm not just saying that. Anybody selling this stuff. You're trying to sell this secure party creditor stuff for $500. She said $1,500, which is ridiculous. $300, $250. I don't care. You're bogus. But we're going to explain why. Okay, she said it came from an old Albion process. She's talking about people of European descent, but we're gonna show that's she didn't just make that up. This is true, but we have the facts here today so that you can see why you don't need to be buying this stuff from anybody. Okay, and she says in here that she gives this information away for her group that she's the moderator of, right? Right, so you can find this information because it's played out. They've been doing this stuff since the 80s and even before that. So it's played out now. But we're going to get into that. Just stick around because we have receipts. I had the proof to show you. Okay, so she's saying like the dude charging all this money for this secured party creditor mess, and you can get it for free. All right, and he got all these different locations he's in, which I'm not trying to go in because she's showing his mugshots and stuff. I'm not trying to go in this, like, this is not about this personal stuff, but I'm just showing you this, right? She's just going on about the stuff that he says to try to get over and showing screenshots showing that she actually sent this dude money, And I mean, like, one of the people I was talking about earlier who just all of a sudden now he's Moorish and he's throwing Noble Drew Ali's name, but he's selling this mess. He'll take pictures on the beach with money, doing all this stuff trying to make you think he's getting paid off of that. All right? And I mean, like, it's whack. So, yeah, somebody else commented on here. Another dude said something, Bay. Yeah, that blah, blah tried to get me. And somebody else finance. Somebody else is co-signing like, yeah, they try to get me. Look, it's not It doesn't matter who it is. They're all bogus. If they're selling it, they're bogus. You got to watch the whole video because the facts are in here showing how anybody selling this mess is a scam artist. They're bogus. Okay? But you got to be patient because we're not going to take too long. I promise you, I'm going to speed through this stuff. All right? So be patient, just a little patient. Watch, because we're going to reveal. It doesn't matter who's selling it. They're all bogus. Okay? Probably going to have to say that again, but it don't matter who's selling it. They're all bogus. All right? So bear with me. All right? So, yeah, somebody else commented on here, too. Somebody joined in talking about, yeah, that blank tried to get me and somebody else, blah, 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 L finances. They tried to get all their stuff. He got his stuff back. And, he preaches an international bill of trust that anyone can create through the UCC alone. And the lady just going on, she can't get her money back through PayPal, been too long. Somebody else came on here, a female, talking about he did the same to me too. You know, they going on and on. So it's several people this dude done got over on. But I'm like I said, you keep watching, you're going to see why it don't matter who's doing it. They all bogus. Right? Yeah, that's about all that's important with that. But yeah, we're going to show you why. Okay, now, what she said before was that the dude had the secured party creditor stuff, right? And that he's charging X amount of dollars for it, right? Okay. So here, this is from, this is one of these dudes who, like, before he was just selling this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, he's a Moor. And he's throwing around Noble Drew Ali's name. And I blurred out the name because I'm not trying to put him on blast because it don't matter. Selling it, they're all bogus. Okay, so don't be like who, like one of them is good and the other one ain't. They all bogus. If they're selling it, they're either ignorant and they selling something that they don't even understand, or they know that it's bogus and they still selling it. They just trying to get over. So either way, they bogus. So this dude, all of a sudden, he's more and he throwing out Noble Drew Ali's name and everything. And he got this, UCC becomes secured party creditor. Other dude charging $1,500. He's only charging $497. But we gonna show you why it's played out. Like she said, it's online for free. You can get this stuff for free. Somebody packaging it up. They ain't even doing nothing. It's a digital product. It's just some paperwork and stuff, you know, files, PDF files and images. You download it. They're not even really providing you with anything tangible or anything that's valuable, right? And so that's why I'm saying it doesn't matter who's selling it. If you patient and watch the video, you're going to see why this is all bogus. They're all copying it. I'm going to show you who they're copying it from, how bogus the people they copied it from are. They're Europeans, by the way, and how they're all locked up now. Okay, that's why it's bogus. So anyway, secure party creditor, $500. Right? Custom IDs, custom license, $400, right? And it's all bogus. They are getting put on blast because anybody doing this is bogus. But you gotta be patient. This video is probably gonna be like 40 minutes. You could watch it. So this is from a different website. This is not trying to say they're Moors, just sovereign citizens, right? Bogus. And where all this information is coming from is the redemption manuals, right? Several books called the redemption manuals where they go in, where they're trying to get the money from your treasury accounts, trying to get the money from your birth certificate and all this mess. It hasn't worked for anyone. Nobody's living good off of this stuff. And that's why, for the most part, these people, even though they're trying to down paper money, Federal Reserve notes, talking about how it's fake and all that stuff, they want it. They charging $500 for something that's free. Charging like a bag of coins, a bag of, you know, silver or gold. They want those same Federal Reserve notes. So on this sovereign citizen mess, this website, Sovereign Filing Solutions, they charging $400 for the whole set. This is the source, the redemption manuals, right? And they got several of them, right? Operating secured, you know, going in on secured party creditor, right? UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, that's book manual 5, right? Free from servitude. So they got looks like 6 books here, and they're charging $400. Okay, but if you go in on that same website, you'll see becoming a secured party creditor, $150. Now this Moore, he's a Moore, and he cares about his Moors. He's charging you $500 for some stuff that you can get online for free. Charging you $500. On this website, they're only charging $150. And this is aimed at sovereign citizens, Moors. They don't care who's buying it. Even though this information is out there, it's online now. You know, documents that are included, you know, security agreement, common law, copyright, all this stuff. They're just giving you PDF files, and some of them aren't even PDFs. They're just images of the paperwork. Right? So they're putting all this stuff in there, and they're charging. They're charging for it. Right? Okay. And like I said, like anyone selling this is bogus. Like what you have right here in front of you, no, it doesn't matter. This website is, but this would predate Moors being on this information, because Moors started to get into it in the 80s, whereas the Europeans who were on it, they started in the 60s. With everything, secured party creditor. This didn't come from the minds of Moors, all right? These were Europeans who were pushing this, and they were pushing it because they were going to war with the United States government, going to war with their cousins. This was a power grab for them, right? And so back to this. What we have here, Islam, glad you enjoyed that video. So what we have here, same dude who, you know, charging $500 for secure party credit, then he charging $400 for your custom traveler's ID and license plate. Let's see, what do you get for the $500? Let's see. What is he giving you? Because this is a bunch of mess. Meet your straw man. This is pretty much like, this is played out information, right? And he doesn't really list, like he doesn't like just list straight up what's in there, which is another red flag. He's just gonna send you some PDFs that you can get online for free, and he's charging $500 for this. And then with played out information talking about the straw man, you know, probably just copied and pasted this from a website like this. Okay, probably didn't even read all this. Look at this. It's ridiculous. And he doesn't even tell you what documents is in there. At least this is a little more professional. They charging less. $150, right? It's crazy. You go on and do that, and you'll be out of that money, because it's not going to do anything for you, because the dude who's selling it, he's not living high off of this, right? Just like this, telling you he's going to give you a credit card size ID. He's going to make an ID for you. This dude, just somebody from the internet, and charge you $400 and give you a license plate package, right? Have you ever dreamed of having diplomatic immunity? Like, if you really believe you can get diplomatic immunity from buying this stuff from this person on the internet, you know? Hey, I don't know what to tell you if you believe that. But we're going to keep it moving, because there's way more to this. This isn't all. There's a whole lot of craziness going on, right? And it has to be dealt with. Somebody has to speak on it. So like I was saying with this, though, you know, they're all overcharging, right? They're charging $150. It doesn't matter. They're overcharging. The reason why? Well, it's because this stuff has an origin. As you can see on the previous page where it was showing the redemption manual books, which is pretty much the source for all of this stuff that you're seeing, right? At least on here they have the source. A lot of these dudes who are trying to appeal to Moors, they're not going to come out and tell you about the redemption manual, because then if you go backwards and do the research on the redemption manual, you're going to start to see what I'm going to show you right now. All right. So if you just look on Wikipedia, redemption movement. Okay. And some of you, I mean, some of this stuff, if you're already on this, it's going to sound familiar. Acceptance for value, treasury, direct accounts, secured party creditor kits. Common redemption schemes include acceptance for value, treasury, direct accounts, and secured party creditor kits. right, in the history of it. It's an offshoot of the Posse Comitatus, an American right-wing populist organization established in 1969 by leaders of the white supremacist Christian identity set, right? So they denounced income tax and debt-based currency, those Federal Reserve notes, right? Farmers like Roger Elvick, a North Dakota farmer, lost his farm in a business deal. It pissed him off, you know? So during the 70s and 80s, they were starting to strike back. Elvick sold a book, The Redemption Package, that encouraged people to claim large refunds and information rewards from the Internal Revenue Service and then pay their debts with sight drafts, worthless checks issued by his own company, Title, Bond, and Trust. Elvick was convicted and imprisoned for his activities, and the thing that they left out here is that a whole lot of them started to move away from that, you know, after this happened. They moved away from it, right? But just right there where it says that about, you know, getting, doing the IRS schemes, right? Man, hang on one second. Okay, the IRS schemes, you know, that's big because you had a whole lot of Moors doing the same type of thing too, getting caught up with this. So right there where you say encouraging people to try to get rewards and things from the IRS, this story was basically about a lady who, you know, claimed to be Moorish American, and her whole family was on it. And it pretty much ruined her family. And I'm not sharing this to make light of her. It's not about her. This is horrible. And I don't, you know, this is a terrible, you know, sad story. This lady, basically, you know, I don't know how her family or friends, whether her parents were on it and put her on it or vice versa, but her parents were on it. She was on it. They tried to get money from the IRS. They were messing with somebody who was calling himself a sheik or whatever. And they claimed these fraudulent refunds. They claimed that they had businesses that were bringing in, you know, large income, and that they were operating at a loss, which is fraud. That's lying. That's not noble. And her mom and dad wound up serving time in prison, man. And they were elderly, because you can see, you know, this lady, you know, she's a grown woman. So her parents were elderly. They were older, and they got caught up in this. And they wound up serving time in prison. But they weren't following anything more. So they were following behind the redemption manuals, the redemption package written by Roger Elvick. And that's why I'm saying the Moors who push this, they don't tell you about the redemption manual. They don't want you to know that it was written by white supremacists, you know, and several white supremacists, because it's not just one author. But they don't want you to know that people like Roger Elvick, white supremacists, wrote this stuff and put this out there so that they could, you know, go to war. They're fighting for power. You know, they're banging on the government. Has nothing to do with us, right? And so people like this don't know this. This lady's out of the Chicago, Illinois area. She didn't know about this. Her family didn't know about that. They couldn't have, right? And so what do? They pegged her as Moorish sovereign citizen. And they gave her 7 years, bro. And the entire family was messed up behind this, right? You know, her parents served real hard time in prison behind this these IRS schemes. And then they got her for filing liens, right? Her brother had gotten, you know, arrested and charged with selling narcotics, man. She filed liens against all the judges and all these people who were associated with that case. And they hit her with 7 years for that. Locked her up. You have a lot of these people out here encouraging people to file liens. They telling you to file liens. This lady filed liens and got 7 years behind it. Okay? This is real. This is not funny. And so all of these tactics, this is textbook redemption manual tactics. Textbook. Right? Has nothing to do with people that look like us at all. Okay? And I was scrolling through this trying to find some of the things that tell you, like, like in here, you know, they got her for filing liens against the people involved in her brother's case, right? and they gave her 7 years for that. They got her parents, her 2 elderly parents, claiming that they received higher incomes than they did, and they're probably saying they operated at a loss and they got some type of IRS refunds, okay, which was fraudulent. Claiming you have a reported income of $1 million something and getting a refund of $350 something thousand. Like, come on, that's fraudulent, man. And they wound up serving time in prison for that, right? Ruined an entire family behind this information. Okay, so you see right here with this redemption manual stuff, and they have the secure party creditor, all that stuff on there. That's all coming out of the redemption manual. All of it, right? And so, like, I'm not putting nobody's names out there. It don't matter who it is. Everybody, like, for the most part, all this stuff is skewed out. Ain't no name showing here because it don't matter who's selling it. They bogus. I don't care if it's your friend. I'm sorry, but your friend is bogus. Be charging you money for something that is useless, that is worthless. Okay, something that's coming from white supremacists that they made to bang on each other. They didn't make this secure party creditor stuff up for you. They're looking for loopholes on ways for them to, take back land and get things from the government. They didn't do this for you, right? So it doesn't matter who it is. That's why stuff is skewed out, because we ain't putting one person on blast. It's all of them. Everybody pushing this, and especially the people selling it. Okay? Especially, right? Because they're not telling you, hey, it came from the redemption manual. Yeah, the people who made it are racist. They white supremacists, white nationalists. And yeah, they did this to bang on the government. It had nothing to do with us. They're not telling you that, right? So back to this thing with this Roger Elvick, who wrote the redemption package. He helped start this movement, okay? It says he got out after he got arrested. He got out, started giving seminars, started doing it again. He got arrested again, sentenced to 4 years in prison. Pretty much after that, in 2005, after he got them 4 years, he gave that up. Too old to be going to prison. And a whole lot of people who were doing this as well, they started backing off because they started getting the big guys in this, the leaders. They were all white nationalists, all right, all of them. And it says by the late 90s, the belief in a secret bank account become a fixture of redemption schemes, right? Okay, and so I'm not saying that they're even wrong, I'm not saying that there's no truth in the stuff that they're doing. It's just that it didn't even work for them. And it definitely ain't working for us. There's no Moors, no people that look like us who are doing this information and who are living good, who is working for, right? All right. So more on this. They got some of the other bigwigs, but all these people got locked up. Every last one of them. And this Roger Elvick dude, leader of a white nationalist group, learned about the Treasury direct accounts while he was in jail for a theft convention in the late 90s, right? After his release, he developed the redemption process, which simply was a combination of several groundless ideas, popular names like UCC, birth certificates, 1933 bankruptcy. Simply stated, his contention was that the TDA, Treasury direct accounts, had been created by the Social Security Act, 1935. Every American had an account with at least $630,000 in it. To access the funds in this account, one only needed to recapture his straw man using UCC procedures. And once this was done, you could write hot checks payable by the U.S. Treasury. Thing is, though, you claiming the Federal Reserve notes have no value, they're debt-based currency, okay? Even though we know that there's something worldwide because it's based off of the faith, the minds of the people. Even in countries like, this is what I know from traveling. Some of you never been out the country. Even in countries where they don't accept other currencies because they have their own, they will still accept that dollar and they'll just go exchange it on their own because the belief is that it has value, okay? Which goes even beyond what they're saying. These people are saying they want access to the Treasury direct accounts. They're not trying to get access to gold bullion, gold bars and stuff like that. They want access to more debt-based currency notes. And that's what the whole thing is based off of. For the most part, it's based off of getting that money, and that's how it appeals to people, right? More on this dude, the redemption movement, and this dude, right? This is where, for the most part, this ain't the only dude, but this is one of the major players in that arena, and that's why it's important for you to know this, because like I said, man, the more it's pushing it, they not telling you this. So it says the notion originated in the U.S. with white supremacist Roger Elvick. Elvick believed the government did not $630,000 into Treasury direct account. So I already said that. It's pretty much known dudes are white supremacists. I'm not making this up. And then on the sovereign citizen movement on Wikipedia, woo, this is accessible to anyone, But another big guy in there was William P. Gale, right? And like it was saying with the Roger Elvick dude, the Posse Comitatus movement. This was a white supremacist movement. The concept of sovereign citizen originated in 1971 in the Posse Comitatus movement as a teaching of Christian identity minister William P. Gale. Gale's a monster, man. The concept has influenced the tax protester movement, the Christian patriot movement, and the redemption movement, the last of which claims the U.S. uses its citizens as collateral against foreign debt. Once again, I'm not saying there's no truth in this stuff. It's just that, dude, it didn't even work for them. But we're going to explain this, right? So skip down a little bit. In addition to Gale's white nationalist origins, once again, these guys always have a common theme. They're all white nationalists. They're all white racists, right? So in addition to his white nationalist origins, the sovereign arguments have been adopted by the Moorish sovereigns, which makes no sense at all, right? Why are you trying to roll with the stuff that they were doing, right? It makes no sense, right? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Okay, so gonna talk about this William P. Gale dude. Because there's some stuff that you really should know, especially if you're gonna fight hard for this. This is what you want to roll with. Because I see some of the people are stuck on it. You talking about whose website that was. It doesn't matter whose website it was showing. I skewed out their names and personal information because it doesn't matter. It's all bogus. They're all getting it from these guys. And they're not even getting it from them. Some of them are so ignorant, they don't even know that it's coming from them. So it's like you really don't need to be getting something from someone that doesn't even know the source of what they're selling. You can get this stuff online for free, by the way. Okay? And then some do know. They know where it's coming from. And they don't care. They're trying to get a scheme. They're trying to find a scam, a scheme that'll work, that they could use to get over, right? And that's it. Okay, so you really shouldn't be messing with stuff that's this on that level where, it has nothing to do with you, right? And it's not even working for the Europeans that are using it against themselves, right? Right. So we're gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna show this naval postgraduate thesis, and then we're gonna keep it moving from there. But like I was saying though, all right. This is a naval postgraduate thesis on the sovereign citizen movement. Just some stuff that you should know. This is what you're gonna roll with hard, because the people are getting caught up and they don't even know what they're doing. This stuff sounds good. You hear somebody saying, yeah, blah blah blah, we have this and that. It sounds good, right? Yeah. Okay, but you don't know where it's coming from. Okay, so the FBI has identified the sovereign citizen movement as a persistent and emerging threat to the security of the United States. This perception is shared by the Southern Poverty Law Center and the Anti-Defamation League, blah, blah, blah. Both actual violence and paper terrorism. Hang on a second. Okay. The sovereign citizen, they call it SCM. The sovereign citizen movement followers believe nearly all existing government in the United States is illegitimate. Their followers refuse to be subjected to the illegitimate government. Furthermore, extremists resort to active violence and view themselves at war with the government. They believe an all-out confrontation with the government is not only inevitable, but actually must occur to achieve their objectives. And remember, these people aren't just like, they're not in the same position as Moors, because you guys aren't like, you don't have militias, you're not out in the woods training and living off the land, and like, because they'll have people, they might go out there for a few months just so they can stay up on their toes, living off the land and training, shooting militia groups, right? They have all that. All right, they're really planning on war. So it's crazy that the FBI shouldn't even mention Moors in the same sentence with these guys, because it's not the same. Guys are not prepared like that, right? Which is why you shouldn't even be trying to get associated with it. You're not on that level. They're trying to go to all-out war. Recent years marked an increase in numbers of individuals embracing the sovereign citizen movement ideology. Let's go. And then they say the results, including militia and hate groups, are included here. It's just showing how it's climbing, right? Right. The hate groups is the ones in dark. They climbing. They way up here. And then the militia groups, for the most part now they climbing. Like 2010 jumped up to the, over 300, right? So I'm saying, like, these guys, they're not just talking. They backing it up. They got the art, right? So something else I wanted y'all to see. Okay, the sovereign citizen movement can trace its origins back to post-Civil War Posse Comitatus movement. However, really began to develop in the 70s and in the 1980s with the resurgence of the Posse Comitatus movement. A serious recession and a farm crisis are often identified as the catalyst for the resurgence in the movement, right? That's where the guy, that Roger Elvick dude, and says Gerald Smith, Richard Butler, William Gale, right? These guys started to come out. They had this thing they call Christian Identity Movement. It's a white nationalist group, which consists of ideology steeped in racism and anti-Semitism. Men like William Gale embraced Christian identity theology and used it, and its racially based theology as a foundation for the underpinnings of the sovereign citizen movement. So this is how they help spread it, by appealing to the fear that all of these white males and women too, males and females, have, that they're like dying out, and so they appeal to that racism to get them to roll together. Ooh, man, we need to bang out on them, right? Many followers of the Christian Identity Movement and Sovereign Citizens Movement were adherents of various pseudo-scientific theories put forth by Lothrop Stoddard, advocated the Aryan race was superior to people of African or Jewish descent based on evolutionary differences. He outlined the pure race was Aryan, blah, 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 blah. Sovereign Citizen Movement, though, currently, although racist factions still exist, they didn't go anywhere. The Sovereign Citizen Movement is being embraced by, and then they got African Americans, Asian Americans, Latinos, and Jewish people. In particular, black adherents have increased significantly over the last 30 years, which is really crazy. And they employ many of the same tactics as their Caucasian counterparts. It's crazy this being co-opted by people who consider themselves Moors, right? And like the brother Islam, shout out to Jesse in the chat. Yeah, you don't realize how good you have it, right? Most of you have never been anywhere outside of the United States, man. I'm just speaking on someone who's lived in South America for several years, okay? It's not the same, bro. We can drink the water out the faucet, okay? But there, the water was brownish coming out the faucet, all right? And almost nobody was just straight drinking it. Almost everyone had some type of filter they pour in water, and you couldn't just drink the water, but you're still bathing in it, right? And that's nothing. They didn't have food stamps and all of these things. They don't build projects for the poor everywhere you go, right? And just lights. You get hot water coming out the wall, man. There's people, they don't have hot water. They just have cold water. And if they want hot water, they got to put some electrical contraption on the... See, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about because you never been anywhere, but this is for real. You got to put some contraption on the water faucet just to make the water hot coming out. And then that makes the electricity bill all expensive because electricity is expensive there because everything's expensive. Everywhere people are really like hustling, and they really don't have it as good as us. Okay, you have no idea how many. Oh, is in Bahia? I lived in Bahia for 5 years, bro. I already know. right? And it's like, yeah, I've been in the hood too. And guess what? It's nothing. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. We have it good here. We have so many opportunities, easy access to information. Libraries. You can go to libraries. You can get on the internet for free. You can get all these books and things for free. And you have high quality things, you know? I mean, like, seriously. I'm glad the brother said that though. But, you know, people don't realize what they have, and so they're not making the most of it. All right? And so what appeals to people with this sovereign citizen stuff, the reason I'm showing you this is to show you the origins of it, you know, in white nationalism, people that have nothing to do with you, not looking out for you, they did not bring this to your attention to help assist you, right? And they still aren't. And it didn't work for them. It didn't work for them. They had to go back underground, and they're still trying to figure out something else to do. That's why you see all these racist attacks popping up, you know, right? It didn't work for them. All right, so it makes no sense for Moors to be trying. It's like it's something like you got to figure it out. They tried it and it didn't work for them. What makes you think it's gonna work for you? So, you know, like pretty much what I was reading is just showing you it comes from racist ideology. Really makes no sense for brothers and sisters to be doing it. The sovereign citizen movement has gone through a metamorphosis over the past 30 years. For example, racist politics and theology, which asserted Aryan superiority, appears to have changed. And then they want to go into how, you know, people that consider themselves Moors are getting into, right? And this thesis is for the naval postgraduate school, but for the most part, this is like something that law enforcement, you know, will be reading. Okay, all right. But for the most part, this is neo-Nazis, militia groups. All right, and they have nothing to do with you. Once again, nothing to do with you. You shouldn't even be messing with this, but people's getting caught up. But this dude, another dude that was a major proponent of this is William P. Gale. I'm going to show you some information on this guy. Was pretty much a monster, right? For the most part. Hang on a second. All right. So yeah, this is William P. Gale, right? And he's the leader of a white supremacist group. Look at this. I think this is one of his books, The Faith of Our Fathers, right? Right. And I just want you to see, you know, this Nazi for the most part, like, is a big proponent of all these redemption methods. May have even contributed to the writing of some of these redemption manuals. I'm not sure, right? And I just wanted to share that because people are following these people's tactics verbatim, and it didn't work for them. That dude I was just showing, he wound up getting locked up. William P. Gale, he wound up serving time, right? Okay. Oh, bitch led several racist groups, right? Self-styled minister who headed the white supremacists, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, and this was, what is this from? I think this is from George Washington University, yeah. Without prejudice, what sovereign citizens believe. Okay? Now, the reason you guys should be interested in this is especially if you're getting caught up with all this secure party creditor stuff. Right? Or even if you're just interested in it, if it's appealing to you in any way, you need to know where it's coming from, because I guarantee you the people are not telling you where it's coming from. Right? They teach secret knowledge regarding how the nations of bank debt. Okay? And I saw like some dude, a young dude, who like used this stuff to like buy some Xbox controllers and stuff like that, you know, the Treasury Direct accounts and stuff like that. Is crazy because it's like, dude, you don't know what you're messing with, right? Okay, so some sovereigns go even further, believing the government secretly holds funds, which we've already covered. They call these redemption methods to gain access to that, right? Redemption theory usually holds that a birth certificate issued under corporate law creates a fictitious person, a straw man. Not saying none of this is true, right? Okay, not saying that is not true. Sovereign gurus or experts are particularly active in selling fraudulent document filing kits or teaching seminars on redemption theory in keeping with this easy money allure. And that's what appeals to people. Like I was saying, like with the brothers saying how we have it good here, you have it good here, and instead of, hustling, doing your thing to come up, you're appealing to the easy money. That's the main thing, man. The debt discharge, all of that stuff, it's about getting easy money. Okay? In addition to money wasted on such fraudulent instructions, because they're selling fraudulent kits. All right? Sovereign citizens may expose themselves to additional legal and financial penalties when they attempt to use the fictitious person's funds. All right. Secret origins of sovereignty. So the people don't know how far this goes down the rabbit hole. Right? Right. Okay. I'm not going to read all this stuff. But for the most part, this whole argument, right, that a lot of them have is disagreement with the 14th Amendment citizenship, right, which is something that doesn't even apply to us, right? This is not our fight, okay? Opponents of the civil rights movement, such as the John Birch Society, attacked the legitimacy of the 14th Amendment in the course of opposing desegregation during the 50s. By the 80s, some white nationalists, precursors to the sovereign citizen movement, adopted the formal argument that citizenship under the 14th Amendment was inferior to citizenship as previously defined, specifically white citizenship under the original Constitution. William Potter Gale, once again, this dude that I just showed, who got locked up, former John Birch Society member, perpetuated the attack on the legitimacy of the 14th Amendment, okay, and later spearheaded the theory of common law that is central to the sovereign movement. Despite the facts that the root of these concepts lie in white supremacy, some black sovereign citizens have adopted the tactic of rejecting 14th Amendment citizenship, sometimes to the consternation of other black nationalists who recognize amendments' real historical importance. This is crap. Self-styled Moorish sovereigns may claim birthright citizenship in a supposed North American black nation that predates the United States, or in an organization claiming to continue that nation. And just going on and on about this, like, look, this guy, William Potter Gale's another one that contributed a lot to this information that everyone's dealing with. And, it's just got a guy who basically formed paramilitary organizations with an increasingly white supremacist bent. So for the most part, it was about a power grab, from people who were worried about themselves drowning out, about themselves, losing power to you, right? So they advocate for the state power, state rights, not so much because, they want everybody to be able to govern themselves without federal influence. What do they want to do? They want to turn around and enslave you, okay? That's what they're worried about. They don't like the fact that the federal government could just come in and just shut down slavery and just, say, hey, we got to do this for everyone across the board. They don't like that, right? They feel like they're losing their grip on power, and that's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with you, and it didn't work for them, so why would it work for you, right? And so another thing I want to share with you, too, there's another guy who's big in this, pushing this dude, Sean Morton, self-described psychic, referred to himself as America's prophet. 2 legal troubles led to his incarceration in federal prison. All of these guys get locked up. All of them. Do you see the pattern? Everyone's getting locked up, right? So Sean David Morton is a psychic and convicted felon, found guilty April 2017, 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States. Okay. David calls in from the slammer, banged up for 6 years, starting last September. So, okay, this guy, is another one of these big, sovereign citizen proponents. And like all the other guys, he's getting locked up. Does he really look like a friend to you? But people aren't going to tell you this is where the information is coming. So from the New York Times. Let's see, this article too is from the New York Times. It's about the whole sovereign citizen movement. how they helped swindle $1 billion from the government they disavow. They claim these Federal Reserve notes, are based on debt, and that they believe in this stuff. They don't, but yet everyone's trying to grab them. Everyone's trying to get more of them. So this is about this David Morton dude. There is, they believe, a pathway to freedom. Renounce these contracts or otherwise assert your sovereignty. Mr. Morton said he once told the Social Security Administration, "I don't want this number." Then no one, not the taxman, not the police, can tell you what to do. Does that sound familiar? Right? Not all sovereigns are common, but their belief system lends itself to deceit. You might declare yourself a diplomat from a non-existent country, right? So that dude, that one that I was just showing the website for, he's gonna sell you diplomatic immunity. He telling you could buy some card from him, right? You could buy this stuff from him, and you get diplomatic immunity, right? You can order this online from him, private traveler ID and license plate, and you have diplomatic immunity. Like, if you believe this stuff, you deserve to be out $400, right? Okay, so Mr. Morton represented the Republic of New Lemuria and the Dominion of Melchizedek, right? They encourage people to start fake Native American tribes, blow off a court case because the American flag in the courtroom has gold fringe. Some sovereigns even lashed out violently at law enforcement, which is why they're considered a domestic terrorism threat. Okay, so if any of this stuff sounds familiar, all right, remember, this is where it's coming from. These people, people of European descent, were doing this stuff as well. They were standing on their square in court and everything. And they were doing this before Moors were doing it. All right? Okay, so I'm going to move on from this one. Go on to, just going to show y'all next. Well, this is another reason why, though, you want to stay away from this stuff. Somebody had shared this in the group. How to steal a mansion. Property listing reflected 8,141 square foot home is having 7 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, 4-car garage, and a guest home, right? Okay, so this dude's sharing a link that's telling you how to steal a mansion, right? Or at least that's what the article's saying, how to steal a mansion. And listen to this, 8,000 square feet. Like, if this appeals to you, trying to squat in a home, you're not gonna be able to financially even keep something like this up with 7 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, 4-car garage, right? This is crazy. With a guest house, this is crazy. And there's people, like, there was somebody who was in the group just last year who shared, he was sharing footage of himself going on a property that he was trying to squat in, and he got arrested the next day. And he was live streaming it himself. He incriminated himself, right? And like, this is insanity to be following behind this. This is the same stuff these people of European descent, they were doing the same thing, and it wasn't working for them, right? But like, there's nothing noble in this. Even this title, like, you can't call yourself Bey or El or noble anything, and you're sharing something talking about how to steal. How to steal. Right? That's crazy. That's insane. And this isn't how you set up a legacy. This isn't how you set up a legacy for your family, right? Because the people will be like, well, the Europeans stole from us. Yeah, but, this is something that's built off a house of cards. You're setting yourself up to get taken out, right? This isn't something you're going to be able to pass down to your children. I'm not even going to go even further about that. But it's like, look at that, right? That's insanity. But this is the type of stuff you see, right? And the people, this was just something, I'm sorry, this is something else that somebody was charging for. Getting tags, insurance, trust, tribal credentials, $3,000, right? I can't believe that people are actually paying for this, okay? You know, some of this stuff you should just know, just like common sense should tell you that it's not going to work. The first thing you would think people would just say, well, let me see what you have. How's it working for you? Right? Because this makes no sense. And it's not working for anyone out here. Okay? And like I was showing you, there's a common pattern. And the common pattern is that all these dudes are getting locked up. Now, this one I wanted to share because, like,
you gotta, a public servant, and you are in breach of the public trust.
You got a European dude, basically, who's talking his stuff, right? And it's not going to work for him. So it's not working anymore.
For the record, would you like to make your counterclaims or dispute any of the claims that I've made or my rightfully established rights and freedoms? Failure to answer is consent. I want you to know that. It states it here. I'm sure you can read. I'm sure you're literate. Failure to register a dispute against the claims made herein will result in an automatic default judgment and permanent or irrevocable estoppels by acquiescence, barring the bringing of charges under any statute or act against myself, a free sovereign inhabitant. Okay? You've been given notice of this. Do you agree? And in what counts, on what parts exactly do you disagree?
Well, I've explained myself. I disagree.
You need the bailiff or the gatekeeper of the people.
Let's see what happens when the judge comes in.
All rise, please. All rise, please.
I will not stand for this.
Listen to me. Everybody pay attention. Turn off the
No,
camera.
sir. Will not. Freedom of press.
Freedom of press. You have.
I object, Your Honor.
Take this
I object.
into custody for contempt.
Hold on, wait. Pursuant.
Put your hands behind
I object to this abuse.
You're under arrest.
I object. You stand down.
Behind your back.
Stand down. Stand down. I'm giving you a lawful order right now to stand down. Taser.
They tased him. Look, I'm telling you, this stuff is not working. All right? It's just not working. Okay? I don't care if you're selling it. I don't care if you're buying it. It's not working. So it doesn't matter. That's why the people like, oh, that's their website. What about such and such? It's getting it from William P. Gale, from Roger Elvick, from all these other Europeans, white nationalists who are locked up. All right? But there's more to it than that. All right? That's not all. All right? Now, most of the paperwork, because you do have some innovation. You have people, they have their own declarations, and your declaration of nationality, because people aren't trying to go within the society that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali established for us. So they're trying to create their own thing. And so people are either downloading the declarations or you're paying someone for it. All right? All of these declarations have Clock of Destiny and Zodiac Constitution in it. All of them do. All right? Let me tell you something, man. The Clock of Destiny, okay, this is a Masonic lodge created by C.M. Bay. And if you are not a member of that lodge, you are not to be using Clock of Destiny or Zodiac Constitution, period. It's not for you. It's for their society. Okay? Secret society, whatever you want to call it, it's a clandestine organization. And if you don't have anything to do with it, then you have no business using that stuff. But then, since so many people out here, and a lot of you especially who are doing it, winging it on your own, trying to figure it out, I'm not trying to condemn you if you've done it. No one's condemning you. Don't take this personal. Don't be emotional. We have to learn. It's a learning process. If you're doing these proclamations and things, they say Clock of Destiny and Zodiac Constitution in it, that should let you right there know. I don't care who's promoting it. I don't care how prestigious you are. I don't even care if it's somebody that they're pushing something that's bogus. Okay? CM Bay wanted nothing to do with that, and his organization that is still up and running currently wants nothing to do with that. So yeah, I shared this post because this is one of the administrators in the Clock of Destiny, and he was saying he just had Clock of Destiny, more Zodiac Constitution removed off of a search engine due to copyright infringement, right? Why? Because people have it on their own websites. And if you have it on your website and he's able to find it, you know what I'm saying? He can take action. Right? So people are sharing these proclamations. I've seen it on the little consulate website, you know. I've seen it in several places. Right? And so this is bogus for them to be doing that. It's bogus. They don't have the permission of the Clock of Destiny to be doing that. Right? So see, some of y'all didn't know that. You didn't even know what the Clock of Destiny was. You know, you may have heard some of these things like CMA, but you don't really know. So it's real. And no, they're not cool with it. Look, members of the Clock of Destiny are law-abiding citizens of the USA. All right? And I can show you something on that, you know, to back that up. But look, many of you protected Dr. C.M. Bay, Moorish Revised Constitution, Nationality Card, and Tax Exemption Card. You dirty Moors need to stop your criminal acts. You want to know why there exists Moorish ADEPs? It is to protect the nation from forgery and imposters trying to destroy the movement from within and on the outside. All I need to do is send in the copyright documents from Clock of Destiny, and the government is going to enforce the law. Right? And so the reason I'm sharing this, because this information needs to be out there, you know? Like this brother, obviously, and the other brothers who are legit members of the Clock of Destiny do not approve of this. They're not cool with it. Right? And so it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter how long you've been out here, how long you've been teaching this stuff, how, you know, many lectures or whatever you do. It doesn't matter. If you're pushing this, you're pushing something bogus. If you have this on your websites for people to download, it's bogus. If you're selling this to people, you're extremely bogus because people can download it for free. And it's not even legit. But people can download it for free. So why? But there are people selling this stuff, you know, selling paperwork. If you're buying paperwork, if you're thinking about buying paperwork, you're wasting your time and money. That's why this thing is called a scam alert. Right? And these are other members just like shut those dirty Moors down. Indeed, people printing it up and presenting that version in court, and that is not to be tolerated. If you want a real copy, register yourself with Clock of Destiny, learn your culture, and your merit will bestow you with a true copy. Okay? So for the most part, what you should get from this is that it's not official. It's not accepted. They don't want you doing this. Right? They don't want to be associated with these people, this, you know, like that dude sharing that picture that I just put up talking about how to steal a mansion. They don't want to be associated with people that's doing stuff like this. Okay? Does that make sense? They want nothing to do with people trying to squat in houses, trying to get out of trouble, whatever trouble you got yourself into. They want nothing to do with that stuff, right? They just don't. And that's not what it was started for. And like I said, the members of the Clock of Destiny, okay, are supposed to be law-abiding citizens of the United States. So they're not supposed to be out here trying to how to steal a mansion. And then calling yourself a Bay or a L. You can't do that because that's not noble. And then you're getting in over your head because if you aren't like, you know, hustling, having your own business, you know, being professional and actually, you know, generating finances, putting value out there into the world where it's coming back to you in a large amount of currency, you can't maintain a mansion. It'd be 7 bedrooms with like one piece of furniture. It'd be ghetto and trifling and falling apart. You can't even pay the property taxes on that. Right? You trying to use some janky way to get out of paying taxes. You're not even legit with it. There's legitimate ways to do this. All right, and that has nothing to do with it. So the people right there, if you filed one of them proclamations, you have people to sign it. You know, I had a brother like last year came to our study group, Muslim Mission, and he wanted me to sign his paperwork. And I was thinking about it. You know, I couldn't do it because, like, I know too much. And I'm, you know, hoping the brother was open to that information. You know, I don't know. I didn't really talk to him after that. But it's like, bro, that stuff is bogus. It's bogus, man. And I'm not going to, like, play dumb and go along with it. You know, I'd rather you be mad at me for telling you the truth. But saying, like, it's bogus. It's not good. I'd rather you be mad at me for telling you the truth than me to just go along just to get along, like, oh, it's all good, you know, who'd you get this from? Oh, okay. Yeah, nah, man, it's bogus. It's not accepted. Okay? And these tactics, okay, let me show you something else, right? These tactics, where are they coming from? They're coming from, for the most part, Europeans. It's not working for them. They're getting locked up. So why are you sticking with it? I want to show you this video. Tell me what you think it is. Basically, you got a person of European descent going down the street, AR-15. They have open carry. Then you have a brother doing it, same place, same laws. And let's see who it works for and who it doesn't.
What's up, guys? SKS14 here. We're here with Warren. Hey, Warren, what are we doing today?
Just go out and exercise a right with a rifle today.
Right on. Want to tell them a little bit about your YouTube page?
Just for educational purpose, and also find professional, respectful, and constitutional officers in the state of Oregon, and make sure we still keep our rights here pure and simple.
Right on. What's your channel called?
Mark Guardian. Upstairs, I'm audio recording. Audio recording.
I'm audio recording as well.
Recording.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Hey. Howdy.
Can I see your IDs? No, sir.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm doing a crime.
Okay. Any particular reason why you're carrying the AR, especially around at this point?
I'm just exercising my
I
right.
understand that, but is there a reason why you're doing it?
Look, let me just pause this right here. Right off bat, he asked for his ID. The dude knows his rights. He's like, no, I don't have to show it to you. And the officer just kept it moving. He's just like, okay. Then he asked him about the assault rifle, right? Because that's really why he's stopping him. And so, like, right then and there, I mean, like, that transaction would have more than likely went differently, you know, if it was a brother. But, you know, we're going to talk about that. For most of you, you should get it. You should know. You should know the state that we're living in and why you have to move differently. But, look.
Of course.
Okay, so he just told him, you know, he's just walking with his gun. That's it, you know? And the officer asked
AR,
him why.
especially around at this point.
And that's it.
Exercise
He
my
left
I
him alone.
understand that, but is there a reason why you're doing it?
I want to walk around. Of course.
Look at that right away. See, you see the camera shaking a lot, but look, right off bat, completely different reaction, right? Right away, he just hops out, pulls out his firearm. Immediately, he just gets out and pulls out his firearm, tells him to get down on the ground, and he's gonna call for backup. It's gonna be like 8 cars to come, right?
He pulled out the gun. He's getting down.
And so the only
gun.
reason
He's just
really I'm
walking
showing
up
this
and carrying.
is because, like, some of you act like you don't know what kind of state we're living in. Okay? You really think you can walk around doing what these white nationalist sovereign citizens are doing, and it's gonna be all good? It's not working for them. They're getting locked up, and you think it's gonna be different for you?
I'm pregnant.
There's not a single example of a Asiatic who's done any of these sovereign citizen tactics, any of these redemption manual tactics that has worked for. None of them have done it like that dude sharing that post talking about how to steal a mansion. None of them has stolen a mansion and it worked. You don't have a single one who stole a mansion large in it, right? It didn't work for any of them. Okay? None of the ones telling people to file all these liens, you know, are able to avoid jail. They're all at least getting arrested. None of them are able to squat in those houses and stay. They either get kicked out or they get kicked out and arrested. None of them have the money that they're telling you that, you know, we so against the Federal Reserve notes, but none of them are living large off of these Federal Reserve notes they trying to get. And they charging you. They charging you for them.
I'm 7 months pregnant.
Right? Okay, so if you want to be out here standing on your right to travel and doing all this stuff, this is what you up against. Yeah, I've seen videos with a European standing on their right to travel and they joking around and they don't even really know the law that heavy, and then the officer's just like, okay, good day. And then I've seen the brother, you know, who's out here encouraging everyone else to do this stuff, get his window busted out, get hemmed up and dragged up out the car and arrested. And they acting like they made some victory or something. Okay? It's like, just because you can do it, don't mean you should. You know? Just like you could do this secure party creditor mess, but even though it didn't work for the Europeans, you know, they got locked up. It's not working for the Asiatics. Why are you trying to do it? You can, though. You can do whatever you want, but it's not working. It's not working for any of these people. And then you see the difference, man. We not in the same boat, okay? These people aren't looking out for you. They're doing this for themselves. They banging for power, all right? And it didn't work for them. They having to go underground and reconfigure, try to come back. And I just fast forward this just so you can see, boom. There's two officers. They got their guns drawn. 4 cars. By the end of it, you know, it's just a whole bunch of vehicles. They like 6 or 8 cars deep. Okay. So, knowing that this is the case, you know, just once again, why would you do this stuff? All right. You know, this dude, the European dude, tried it in court and it's failing because it's played out. It's played out. So it's beyond me why you guys still think this stuff is working and it is popping. It's what to do. All right. And look, if you watch this video, which I hopefully you did and you shared it, you know the origins of it. So you know where it came from. You can't deny that. You see the secured party creditor, all of that wording, you know, even the encouraging people to file liens, all of these things. They've been doing it since the 70s, meaning it's played out. All right, they did it. It didn't work. They got locked up. They calmed down on it, and they coming back harder with other things, you know, random acts of terrorism and stuff like that, right? They changed the game up. Why are Moors trying to do this? And it's not working for a single one of them. Ain't a single Moor who's on this who's living large, right? Okay, so in that, you know, we're going to end this. Y'all share this. Put this information out there. You know, I know some of the people who this stuff appeals to, you're not going to get it anyway. Because a lot of people, you know, the reason it appeals to you is because your license is suspended. Because you were doing something. You know, you were driving under the influence. Your license should be suspended. Right? And that's why they trying to drive, you know, on their right to travel. And then I know some people just want to try this stuff out because you know that it could work. Because you see the logic in it. Right? But these are European tactics. It's not even for us. This isn't a strategy. That's how come the main proponents, the consulates and all these other places that are promoting this stuff, they don't have a strategy. Not anything real, not anything that's sustainable, not anything that people could do. You know, laws change, get things done. They don't have no strategy. It's just random acts of, you know, doing stuff, just keeping you busy. All right. So on that note, I advise everybody to go to read up on what the prophet brought. If you're not trying to go into the temple, read what the prophet brought. Get the prophet's literature, material, so that you know what it really is, and study the movement. Study how it works, why it works. You know, and if you still want to stay on outside the temple, whatever, but at least you know what is real and what's not. So you're not thinking just because these people were doing something, you know, just because they active don't mean that they're actually progressing, right? They're encouraging you to squat in houses and file liens and do things like this, try to get this secure party creditor, try to get all it, you know, all this craziness, you know, following behind the redemption manual, textbook, you know, right? So just because they're doing that doesn't mean that they're actually progressive. Just because people are busy doing stuff doesn't mean that they're actually getting anything done. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this. Islam, like the brother said in the chat, the prophet came to make us better citizens. Okay, so on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this. Yes, you can email me at bay at moresinamerica.com. My wife just shared that in the chat. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you click like and share this video. I think, you know, I'm not just saying this because this is on my channel. This is important information because the people, for the most part, don't know where this information is coming from. Okay, and that's how come I'm not trying to show these people who are selling it, show their face and name, because it's not about that, man. Because anyone that's selling it is bogus, you know, and it's not a diss to anyone. It just is what it is. You see where this stuff is coming from, and it is not working. That note, we're gonna go ahead and end this broadcast, y'all. Make sure you click like and share, and appreciate you all for tuning in. Peace and blessings.